Hello and welcome to the Contro-Verse, voted Malden's open mic most likely to burn the building down. It's very exciting to have everybody here. Just 5 minutes ago we were worried, we might be a little light, and then the entire room filled up, so I'm so happy to have you all here today. We have an amazing feature. We have some great folks in the back. Kathleen has come back. We miss you. We're going to have you on the mic shortly. I think we've gone over all the basics for those of you at home. Thank you for being here and watching this and being part of this whole thing. Jeff, please rescue me. Oh, are we gonna, right, okay. So the way the open mic here works, we will do rounds depending on how much time we have. Everybody has time to do one piece of up to 3 minutes per round, and we'll try to get in as much amazing stuff as we can. First on the mic, I'm going to introduce one of our producers, the guy who makes sure that the microphones are actually working. Everybody, please put your hands together for Jeff Taylor.
Hey, how's it going? I got a new notebook. It was my birthday just the other day on the 17th. My mom got me a new notebook, which was fortuitous because I had lost my notebook that I was using to read my poems out of. I like to keep the ones that I typically do at shows in one notebook. Just kind of makes it easier, especially me, Anna, and Ethan. We're the Garage Poets together as a group. We do performances, so having everything that I do on those shows in one notebook is good. So I'm going to keep all of them here in this notebook. Let's roll. Try to find the poem that I'm looking for. Thank you for the noise, Ethan. You're helping my cause here. All right, here we go. We'll do this one. Oh wait, no, let's do this one. All right. This is called Struggle Bus Revolution. Therapy has made me realize I'm terrible at life. I fumble across a spectrum of struggle buses masking their way through rotary after rotary. I'll never be the most reliable voice in your wallet, but I'll always be stretching the limits of steel and rubber. I'll always be discovering new methods of driving my struggle bus. When turning towards home isn't on the checklist, when time is 10 different things that end in unpaid bills, when the machinations of interactions lack imagination, when the interactive methods of selecting gears and cranks lack perspective beyond definition, I'll be building tree forts at the rendezvous as you hit escape velocity, waiting with a bong and a pocket full of second chances, sparking the kind of revolution that inspires every cog in the wheel to make therapy appointments. We'll inhale and inhale, lighting small fire after small fire until our personal tragedies smolder into ash, holding the world in our lungs a little too long as we learn to breathe through the burning. We release what's left in the smoke back to the air, watching the struggles rebuild themselves in the wind. Maybe this time I won't spill the bong, but don't hold your breath. I'm terrible at life. Thank you.
You're not that terrible, Jeff. Don't be so down on yourself. Next up, I would like to invite out of the booth one of the other organizers, the man who makes sure that everything is happening, the cameras are pointed where they should be, and that we all actually show up on time. Everybody, please, a warm welcome to Chris Hickey.
Thank you so much, Anna. Let's see. Jeff inspired me last week because he went to Canopy Lake Park and I had been there the week before, and it reminded me of a poem that I had written a while ago. It's called Waiting Online at a New Hampshire Amusement Park. Fun feet become wary when joining the queue at the New Hampshire Amusement Park. City folk and Hampshire hillbillies mix with carnies and college kids, AARP retirees ringlead so as to subsidize puny pensions. Let's Go Brandon stands beside Love is Love, a warped reality American dream, advancing despite each other, and despite each other several times passing each other before getting on the ride, forming opinions and reaffirming biases. What else is there to do while waiting? The judgment of others is, after all, the great American pastime, the greatest amusement in the park. Consequence-free? Perhaps not. Chances are you'll never see them again. At least, not until you get online at the next ride, where you get to spend eternity with them all over.
I don't know why anybody's thinking about politics. This is a very normal, precedented time in which we are living. Just whenever this actually airs, y'all should know this is the day after Biden dropped out of the race, and that is coincidentally a week after a presidential candidate got shot at. So, I don't know why anybody's thinking about politics. Crazy. Anyway, closer to home and much more pleasant for everybody involved. Kathleen has been busy doing some teaching things. We're so excited to have her back on the stage. One of our amazing organizers. Please put your hands together for her.
Hello everyone, it is so great to be back. I'm going to read a poem from my collection, Necromantic. If you're interested in it, I'd be happy to sell you a copy after the show. Thank you, Jeff. I am tiny. Aw, thank you. This one is called On Dying Alone, because I think that the cat lady, like people say, what do you want to be like, a woman dying alone with a cat? I think she gets way too much hate. I think those are super great dreams to have. So this is my homage to her. On Dying Alone. Dying alone, alone with a cat with a witch, an old witch, alone with a cat. I will be that lady. The old lady without kids, except kids in the neighborhood. Kids in the neighborhood afraid of me. Me? I will be a dare. A double doggy dare on Halloween. On Halloween, I double doggy dare you to ring my doorbell. Rings? Not on these fingers. These fingers made this house blacked out except for a candle in the attic window. The attic window, a red light to throw everyone off. Adults think I turn tricks with those treats. What a treat to be that old puta bruja sucia. A puta bruja sucia with a shotgun and a rocking chair on her stoop. On my stoop with my cat, I purr, a purr to welcome the end of everything. Thank you. And now I would like to introduce our amazing and super talented feature, Skoot Mosby. Skoot Mosby, a poet, old soul, and positive thinker. This is Stratusfier, a soul-traveling artist that uses poetry to condense light after exploring his own darkness. Skoot works with writers without margins to promote writing with purpose to inspire healing through writing. Skoot has been a three-time semi-finalist and Slam King contender at the Lizard Lounge. Skoot has also featured at Comic-Con, Verbalization, Stone Soup. Please give a really, really warm welcome to Skoot.
Thank you, Jeff. You're welcome. Man, my hair look different on TV, don't it? No. So thank all you guys for coming. One, I am happy to be here. Thank you, Jeff, for inviting me. So I'm gonna just jump into it real quick, and then we're gonna slide away from there. Right? We just slide away. All right. I remember when I was conflicted, misusing my own influence. Sometimes it feels easier for me to misuse my own influence. Sometimes it feels easy to feel like the praise is better. Like the cheers from you is better than the cheers from at home. Like sometimes just hearing your noise makes me feel better about myself. You know how weird it is to look in the mirror and call yourself ugly while someone tells you at the same time you created a beautiful poem? Like your pen has more beauty in you than you do. Like when you look at yourself, they tell you that you're not actually the best that you could be, or maybe that you're the worst that you can be. Sometimes you kind of have to balance yourself in the middle. Like I like to think of myself as a yin yang without the two dark light sides on the circle, because technically both lights of the circle are the same. Like if I sandwich them, that's probably me. Like there's a lot of gray areas in when I speak. Like sometimes I have to keep myself in line just to feel like I'm beautiful, or maybe to feel like I'm worth something. It's so weird because now that I live in a society that tells me it's the red pill or the blue pill, I usually tend to feel like I am the green one. I don't actually have a reason to have a pill in the first place, yet I do feel like in order for me to have the pill, I have to be beautiful. It's funny how people still say that my pen is the most beautiful thing about me. But what if I told you I never wrote this poem at all? So, I recently found myself doing social work. And the interesting part about that is this poem is kind of deep, dark, yet it is also triggering, and it is also fun for me, only because I used to hate this poem. You'll see why. I knew a girl who just turned 8. Mom wasn't there to cut the cake. Dad was on the couch smoking a cigarette, but all the other kids outside, none of them could relate. By the time she turned 9, she swore everything would be fine, but she would always hear Daddy banging and screaming with Mommy on the other side of the wall. She'd make herself feel like in order for herself not to cry, she would keep herself in a ball, make her feel as if this is the only safe space she could be. By the time she turned 10, she told Mommy that she wanted her to be home more. But Mommy couldn't be home more. She couldn't understand why. Mommy would only tell her that she has to be out because of work. She didn't understand why Daddy was on the couch smoking a cigarette, but when she went to school, none of those other kids could relate. By the time she turned 16, she said she wanted to feel pretty, beautiful. She wanted to feel like all the boys and all the girls would just fawn all over her. She started to fall in love with Cinderella. Like, she wanted that one moment with the glass slipper to just last forever. She wanted something to be forever. So she went to her father and asked, "How can I be beautiful?" And he said, "Baby, I will give you anything in the world you want. Just get A's and B's." So she did. By the time she was 17, she traded all of her A's and her B's for double D's and a smile. And she met a boy. She said she was in love. She said he will always love her. He always told her she was pretty, but she had to keep working on herself. So she kept doing work on herself. By the time she turned 25, she found herself walking the corner of a night shift job. Her boyfriend would tell her, "Men have thoughts about these thoughts. So these thoughts, well, they become your heart. So baby, you gotta be the hoe." She felt the need to succeed to succeed. By the time she turned 36, she wanted a change. She believed she was worth way more than where she worked. She believed she was worth more than where she was. But she had a daughter who just turned 8. She wasn't there to cut the cake. Her father, though, was on the corner, in the couch, smoking a cigarette butt. Those other kids, they couldn't relate. Thank you. I'm starting, you know what I'm saying? It's starting to get nice up here. I'm starting to feel real cool up here. So, I'm not only a wandering poet, I am also a free-thinking poet, or what we call a free-spacing poet, or what we call a poet with different ideas and identities, ones that can change the landscape with not one pen, a folkteller, one that creates stories and then lets them explode in your mind, literally lets you change the way the words are, and I'll say, yeah, that's how that poem went. I am not only just a poet, I am a folkteller, one that tells stories to make you feel something different, but then make you feel the difference of differences, then make you feel like your difference is not different, or maybe I make you feel like different is the same. Either way, however you spin that poem, the light of the lines always change, which means you get to decide what the poem is, not what you interpret it to be, but what it is. That means you get to change the words as I decide to say them. For instance, if I use the word Microsoft, some of us would think in the gutter, which I would be okay with. Others would think probably Microsoft, the technology. But either way, no matter how you technically spin it, I am still soft and in the gutter, which means my mind is dirty. Or maybe my mind is soft. Either way you spin it, it's technically correct. I don't mind the poem being your interpretation. No, I don't mind you changing the words or the meaning of the poem, because the means of the poem is only average and defined by how you've seen the poem. So technically your interception and perception is usually one and the same, which means I'm allowed to change the poem based upon your differences, or I should say our differences between each other. This is why this poem is so awesome. No, this is why my poetry is so amazing. Nah, this is why I am so great. No, this is why we are so great. Either way you spin it, I'm only changing the words of the poem to make you fit or be included or excluded, depending on how I feel at the moment of the poem. But then your job is to change the poem to feel included based upon how you feel. I think we're all on the same page with that. Or maybe that's just my interpretation. So I stepped away from poetry for a long time. This is like my first feature back. My reasoning for stepping away from poetry was because I felt like I needed to find a journey without poetry. I needed to stop writing to find myself. I think that's weird now because I can't see myself not writing about anything. So to take the time not to write. So I spent about 5 years just not writing anything about how I felt about anything. So I do burner books, I do journals, I did all these things, and then just one day quit poetry cold turkey. And I didn't realize how much of an addiction I had to writing until I stopped. That is this poem. I wish I could be better. I wish I was better. I wish I could be the best version of me. I wish every version was the best version of me, except the one of me that is the best version is the one that is writing the worst versions of me. It's the one that takes all of my misspellings and all of my mistakes and makes them something that no one could have expected. I am one hell of a poet. And most people would say that's arrogant or even confident. I say, to hell with you. If you knew the hell that I've been through, or even the depths I've had to go just to find the words for the poem, to take the pain out of every poem and perform it to you, to be naked while fully clothed, to be anywhere close to you, for me to take off my glasses and be blind yet still have foresight is a bar that is way beyond its depth of the bar itself. I wish I was the bar, but I'm not the bar because words have no bar. That's where the last poem comes in, because the technical technicalities of things. I yet still feel like the bar is set too high, even if it's my emotions, which means my emotions is the bar that is set too high. Isn't that amazing? How you lose yourself in the poetry, yet you still can't write a word. The challenge of not writing a period to a comma is amazing. When my teachers used to tell me that I couldn't put a comma and a period together, so I put one under each other, didn't know that that was going to be some shit called a semicolon. You wouldn't even get the bar if you didn't get the joke. I swear to God, this is amazing how I just keep changing myself for this, and these little mistakes become perfect. Perfection becomes reckless in a stratosphere I could never be. It's amazing how I have the thing called brothers that are reckless in stratosphere, which means my foundation is reckless, but my space is in stratosphere, which means I have an amazing attention to detail. Like, it doesn't even matter how far I go, as long as I can keep it back to the main idea of the structure, it will never be reckless, yet I could still have the space to be reckless if I need to be, which means I could say something reckless, but for the sake of time, let's just say I'm really good at keeping the normal, which is abnormal, which is reckless. See, I think when I look at myself, I see writing as a very interesting, unique thing. Something that I should be doing on a daily basis. But I had to quit. It was almost like palm sweaty. Didn't know if I could stand in the right spot. Didn't think. Always had to feel like what I was writing had to mean something. Imagine taking the feeling out of poetry. That's almost like being numb without Novocaine and then still putting Novocaine in your body. It's almost as if I could shiver, couldn't think without putting something down. Always feeling like that for 5 years. Quit cold turkey, something I couldn't even dream. Cold sweats, Wendy's in the back of the bathroom going, damn, I wish I could think of a better poem than this, but I couldn't even remember the poem. It's so funny because one story rings true. It's literally called Water Has Values in Different Places. So a water at Six Flags is way more expensive than the one at the corner store. Isn't it funny that I find my value on stage doing poetry, but I treated it as if it was in the corner store. Yet I treat my job as if it's my highest value, but yet it's really the thing at the corner store. But I worked hard for the both of them. I guess $1 and $8 doesn't matter as long as you're happy with the purchase. But why did I have to think my poetry was a purchase? Because I had to live on it. Do you know what it's like to live on poetry? Not even just on a sense of common sense, because common sense ain't common, but these words ain't either, yet I still use them, prickling and cursive, and that's my curse, is that I have to curse just a little bit just to feel good about who I am on the inside. Your recognition of me is my recognition. That shouldn't be poetry, but that's so damn poetic in a community. I think it's funny how when you look at yourself and you look at how you had to write, Skoot, you are not the same. I tried to separate Joseph and Skoot, yet they're one and the same. Remember that yin yang thing I was telling you about? And how if I smush it together, it'd be gray areas? Probably not. But even if you did remember, I remember. That gray area is exactly what my writing is. It is perfectly imperfect, just like life. And I need this like air. I need this like the sun. I need this like plants need photosynthesis. I didn't even think I'll use something from middle school like photosynthesis. That's how powerful my words are. I have to remember something I never thought I would actually use. Remembering things like what could be and what is versus what isn't and what shouldn't be. Everything should be, but everything shouldn't be. That's my addiction to this writing style. That's my addiction to being a folk teller. That is my addiction to poetry. I'm trying so hard not to get animated. Like, I want to get up here and be animated. I'm trying to be cool, but it's really hard not to be cool when you see yourself in the corner of your eye. I keep looking over there, too. Yet, I'm not even looking at myself when I do it. It's insane. Fine. All right. What poem should I do now? Okay, got you. I fell in love with a woman. A woman who doesn't know I fell in love with her. Before y'all say anything, no, I did not stalk this person. No, I did not think that this person past tense. No, just know I fell in love with her smile first. Yes, we had conversations, but I'm too nervous because, well, caution, everything makes me nervous, but she makes me nervous. Her energy is so powerful, yet felt like divine. It was, well, invigorating. It was educational. It was different. It was I can't explain it without explaining a bunch of words that won't fit or rhyme. That's how amazing her energy is. Yet I don't feel comfortable talking to her, and I'm gonna tell you why. Here's why. One, I'm me. I'm weird. I'm a poet. See, it's funny how people say, like, poetry makes you a better talker to people that you really want to talk to. Actually, it makes you way more nervous because you're going to go home and write the poem about the person that doesn't know you're writing a poem about them. It actually makes you more nervous because you're antisocial because you're so used to talking to yourself. You're actually crazy not being crazy. So I fell in love with her, but I fell in love with me. Talking about her. I fell in love with her, making me find the words to talk about me. I fell in love with her. But if I told you her name, you'd be surprised because her name is Mary Jane. No, I'm lying. I'm not lying. I do love Mary Jane. That's my side hustle. That's not the same thing. But this girl was so close to it. She'd keep me high and above levels I could never see. She was stimulant, a beautiful stimulant that only I could see. She was imaginary, yet in my face all at the same time. You ever pictured somebody so perfect that the picture was almost just had to become imperfect because you felt like it had to be imperfect just to make it feel perfect? That's how perfect she was. I had to find flaws. Like I literally had to search her vernacular to find a flaw. How hard did I look? Not very hard, because people are people, so everybody's got a flaw. I just got to know when to be mad about it. What if I told you that my anger had to just take me to a place where I could finally talk to her? And the way I started talking to her was telling her about herself, like her flaws. The first thing I said to her was, you suck at reading. Yeah, that's a great conversation starter to ask her out, right? Like, yo, understand, this is how weird poets can get. When you fall in love, it doesn't start with hi, as everybody thinks it should. It's more like a, if I had to put you in a sentence, the sentence would probably be divine, but divine is not the God that I'm looking for because your angel is way more important. I look forward to dialing the numbers on your button because those are the buttons I want to push just to find your heart. And if those buttons ever change, there'd be 10 other digits. I just want you to know that there's only you. That means there's 1-0, which means if we were in a playoff game, it'd be just that, like 1-0. It's so amazing how I could love you and never know you. I love you from a far sight, a distance. Is what I wanted to say, but it came out like, yo, if you go to Walmart, you could probably get a Kit Kat for like 99 cents on Halloween. Mind blow, right? Like crazy. She would tell me, just say what you really mean. I'm like, I can't. So she said, what if I asked you to write me a poem? Oh, she asked me to write her a poem, which means my real feelings are going to come out intentionally, because I'm going to give it to her. But giving someone that you love a poem is almost like giving a diamond to a baboon, because you have no idea where that thing is going. So I give her the poem. The poem reads, if I told you how I really felt, you would tell me that this isn't a poem, it was a love confession. She asked me, where's the rest of the poem? That's the bar. I'm gonna let y'all go right there. Hold that. That was it. I told you that was it. All right. Something's telling me to do this, so I'm just gonna do it. Whichever, when you get up here, it's like you have a set, and then your set changes depending on how you feel, and then after that, you start to get into like a bunch of things, and then they had the nerve to tell me I can go as long as I want to, as long as I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, so let's go. Last one though. Grandma, I miss you. I miss your beta. I miss you. I miss the way you look at me, the stories you told, how S's could be cricket letters and snakes. I miss how you taught me art without ever teaching me how to write a line. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss how you and Granddad always argued about the box. It's amazing how you two would argue about the refrigerator and call it the box. I will miss the subtleties of the way you spoke, old Southern, yet cool, smooth North tile speak. Like, you would say things and it would make me weak. We would laugh and laugh and laugh, but yet you never lost sight. When I see you again, hopefully we will cross paths, because I'm a sinner and, God has certain instructions and I live on my own freedom. So, Granny, I'm sorry, but I know I'm going to hell because I live on my own freedom. But hey, if I ever do get to see you again, remember this. I lived as righteous as I could with the best things you taught me. I love you. But I don't just love you for the way that you spoke to me. I love you for how stern you could be. I love that you put religion in my life, yet I don't use it as much. But I still love that you loved it. I miss the cries that you used to say all the time, the songs that you used to sing us to sleep with. I still remember when I got my Game Boy Color. My mom wasn't there to present it to me, but I do remember you being just as happy not knowing how to use a Game Boy Color. We are so far below a Game Boy Color. It's mind-blowing how far along from a Game Boy Color we are. But I miss the fact that you didn't know how to use a Game Boy Color. I love how you couldn't tell the difference between a touchscreen cell phone and a flip phone. You just knew how to hang one up. I feel like that is the lesson that everybody needs to learn. It's not the phone, just learn how to hang it up. It's amazing how you could still teach in this level of styles. I wish I could write a Bible about all the quotes you gave me, yet I can't even remember half of them. I became a poet, not because you had so much to give, but because you gave me so much to give. I think it's amazing how you've given everyone something, yet I'm the one with the substance. You told me to just be ready when the time comes. I hope I'm ready for when the time comes. You was even prepared for death. How do you get ready for death? Either way, I'm not deaf to your silence. I'm not deaf to who you are. And trust me, I'm in depth and in tune to what you are. I love you more than anything else in the world, other than my girlfriend. Gotta say that I'm on camera. You give me strength. You are my angel and my goddess, and once you were on earth, I still pray to you. I don't think that the Bible is Bible anymore, because when I read its scriptures, all I see is you, the way you walked and how you lived, how you felt and how you do. I wish I could be there with you. If I could just tell you I love you one more time, I would tell you. I can't say thank you yet, because I haven't achieved the goals that I need to reach. I would tell you I love you, but I wouldn't be able to say thank you, because at the end of the day, you've given me way too much not to fulfill it. So my life from this point forward will be of fulfillment, will be of love and of cherish. And if I don't love it, I won't do it, I promise. I promise you, not just in this poem, but in life, because this is your prayer. The last prayer I will ever pray to you is the one where I tell you I love you more than my own teardrops. I will love you more than the own blood that runs through my body. The closest thing to you that I have is my mother. And even before you, I cherished her. But I cherish her way more because I see her in you now. She's just a younger version of you. A you I could never be. And to my grandfather, because I have to add you in here, while I'm speaking to you, remember this. I know that you were a carpenter and you did construction, and you built everything to say that the foundation must be sturdy in order for it to survive. I have not forgotten that. And if I ever want a wife like my grandmother, I must build your foundation. I have not forgotten that. I have not forgotten who you are or what you are. I will forever remember you. I love you, but I can't
say thank you yet. This is my grandmama's prayer.
Thank you to Skoot Mosby. I'm going to try to fix this on my own, but just probably going to have to help me. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much to our feature. Thank you for coming out today. Guys, make sure to check him out. He's just the tip of the iceberg on this amazing work. Be sure to check him out online. Thank you to everybody who showed up, everybody who's here for the open mic. Are we all ready to get into it? Is anybody ready to follow that? Because somebody's going to have to. Donna, I'm putting it on you. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. Everybody, please put your hands together for regular friend of the show, Donna.
It's okay. I'm putting it on somebody else. I met a poet at a party last night, and then I met her poetry today, and then I got permission to read this by text message from the back of the room about 10 minutes ago. So this is by Callie Jennings. It's called Do Nothing. To fresh raspberries, salt, butter, even heat sully a cob of timely summer corn. Half the mint leaf belongs between your teeth and cheek. Peaches bursting. Empty the bag. Your mother will never have been the mother you most needed. But look, now she is perfect. Quickly, now.
But you moved the mic up again. Why would you do this to me? I'm so short. No, it's okay.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Donna. Next up, we have first timer at the show. Please, everybody, give a very warm welcome to Shannon.
Thank you. This poem is called Ordinary Barbie. I could be an ordinary Barbie. I think that's what I'd like. Someone who doesn't stand out, who just gets by, but is happy with who she is, and with flattering tops because they please her. I've never been a mom, but I was the president once, not of a country, but of a small club. My subjects revered me. They called me President Amelia. I dress up as Amelia Earhart. That's not what ordinary Barbie would do. But I think it's ordinary, because who else would I be? Ordinary Barbie would talk to herself and give inspirational speeches. She would listen to cheery music, not caring what anyone thought of her. Ordinary Barbie would have a wonderful life, brimming with ordinariness, but loving all of it, because it's better to be ordinary. Nobody has expectations or delusions of grandeur, thinks they will save the world or they're in touch with God. When you're an ordinary Barbie, you'll never do anything astounding with your life, except live and exist, to be weird and express yourself, and to be able to stop and smell the daylilies if they're on the path beside you, and look up to the sky and say, to hell with the ordinary people who never understood me. I've become the most ordinary of all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you for coming out tonight. So next, I have been told by Ethan. Are you ready? No? Okay, all right, never mind. So Johanna, you're gonna have to get up here because Ethan doesn't have his shit together. Can you rescue us? Everybody, please. First timer to the bike and a good friend of ours, Johanna.
Hello. All right. When I die, bury me in the forest. Bury me in a shallow grave, naked and full of humors. Bury me next to a great tree, so that it may drink of me and I may be one with it. Bury me in mushroom spores, the colorful ones, the dangerous ones. Bury me in the thick black earth, so that the worms may have their fill. What happens to my parts after death? What will my proteins get up to after they've stopped cooperating? Will they ever join together in song again? Will I find my way to a new conductor? If the mushrooms eat me, will they share me with their friends? If the tree drinks me, will I get to live in the treetops? If the worms consume me, will I get to travel to the underworld? When I die, bury me in the forest, not in a box to desiccate, not in a fire to sublimate into nothingness. Bury me in a place where I can become one again. And someday, when you walk barefoot on the soft, mossy earth, maybe we can meet again.
Everybody likes a good mushroom poem, right? Everybody loves that. Next up, we have Heather, who is new to the stage, but not new to the show. You were here, I believe, last week, and I would love to hear what you brought for us tonight. Wait, put your hands together.
Thank you. I'm going to read a poem from Rusty Barnes's book, Jesus in the Ghost Room. Rusty Barnes, also known as husband. Texas will kill you back. We drove a half-empty U-Haul from Pennsylvania to Texas in 3 days, $100 in our pockets, and my wife's brand new credit card. We dragged a Pontiac 6000 with 230,000 miles on it. In the cab of the truck, we set a litter tray made of a shoebox for the 2 cats who rode with us, moving from lap to lap as they saw fit, but finding their best purchase and son on the dashboard with the empty soda cans and a bottle of water that was not enough as we drove through Texarkana and hit I-45 eventually, Conroe and Willis and small towns galore, before hitting the city and finding just how massive and spread out a place could be. We salvaged furniture from 2 deeply closeted men and found a store that would sell my wife beads within seconds, it seemed. My wife got a job she could work while in school, and I flustered myself finishing my thesis for my graduate degree and didn't find a job until Wanda at Barnes & Noble took pity on me and hired me for $4.75 an hour. I'd like to say I learned something from that, but no luck. I just got angrier and angrier at the rich for being fortunate in ways I was not, and angrier at the many poor with whom I was competing like roosters for jobs. 3 streets over toward downtown, I found cockfights on Sundays and turf wars between rival gangs, evinced by the bricks thrown through the 7-Eleven's plate glass windows periodically. We found an apartment between the rich and poor sections, a nice place, and we've stayed between the rich and the poor ever since. I feel good about that. Not so much about the homeless man shot 22 times the first week of our living there for having a silver gum wrapper in his hands. Then I remembered, we're in Texas. You kill someone, Texas will kill you back. Those policemen doing the shooting, though, I bet they're still alive.
All right, Ethan, what's our status?
Well, do we want to get through everyone?
Yeah.
I don't want to take up time, but I don't want to go before.
You see this man saying he doesn't want to take up time. As he takes up time, do you have something ready or not, sir?
Okay, we can do this.
All right. I was told that I'm going to have to read something that I have not seen before, and Jeff might have to be on the stage to tolerate it. I don't know what the plan is exactly.
All right, this is a piece entitled Beware the Jobber Workie, based obviously on Lewis Carroll's piece. I'd like to dedicate it to Skoot. It combines the wonder of old-time fantasy with professional wrestling.
Ethan wrote this one. I'm going to perform it, and I'm going to hope that none of us die or break the set. This might be the night we get kicked out, you guys. Be prepared.
Chair, that's it.
All right, you ready?
I'll cue you in just
'Twas brillig, and the slithy turns did gyre and gimble in the cage, and flimsy were the ring ropes, and the mat it did outgave. Beware the jabber work, my son, the jaws that bite, the teeth that catch. Beware the juicy juice bird, and shun the frumious bee-show match. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the mid-card foe he fought, so rested he after the count of 3, and stood a while in thought. And, as in uffish thought he stood, the jabber work with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tugly wood, and botched it as it came. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and through the vorpal blade went snicker snack. He left it down, and with his head he went galumping back. And hast thou pinned the jabber work? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. Oh, finishing move, calais, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the cage, and flimsy were the ring ropes, and the mat it did outgave. Big hand to Ethan for that one. I don't know why we're doing this silly stuff. All right. I was going to read something, but I literally just read something that Ethan did. So I am going to call out to the stage one more time from the booth, Chris Hickey. Yeah, I know I didn't warn you, so it's going to take a second for him to get out here. This is called planning, guys. It's a thing we don't do very well. What was that about poets and being a little bit awkward? Somebody might have said something about that tonight. I don't know. Wasn't me. Please put your hands together for Chris.
Thank you, Anna. Being in the wake of a garbage truck can be a challenge. Intrusive cloud, supple, outrageous, cloyingly sweet stranger, plume of putrid liquid escapes holes and leaves moist squiggles. Do the garbage men even know? Are they indifferent, thinking ahead, not behind, trying to outpace the gunk, having trash, wasting away, present tense too abstract, but that pesky smell interrupts the suspension of disbelief and leads numbed minds back to inconvenient refuse, lulled into a sense of sniff, determining how much one can take. Turns out, not much.
All right, now is the point in the show where I ask folks who showed up late, folks who said maybe, folks who read a poem before. Does anybody have something that is going to burn them alive if they don't eat it right now? Or, sorry, read it. That's a different word. Those are verbs and they have different meanings. Anybody got one? Do I see any hands? Oh, there we go. What's your name, sir? Solomon. Solomon? Come on up here.
I have one called Queen Bee, and it's about a woman sitting at the edge of a dock. When a queen bee is ready to mate, I slice open the soles of my feet, creating a gash to place the queen inside. Stinging and swelling in orgy as my feet become clubs, I like the idea of the male bees sensing the pheromones and lusting after my feet and ankles, mistaking it for a queen. Sitting at the dock, my feet lay outstretched, throbbing and thirsty. Deep breaths, everyone. A plop as I dunk my feet into the water. I gave them a warning. I'm not cruel. Nonetheless, an agitated frenzy begins as the false queen drowns. The bees that linger, betrayed and purposeless, my feet no longer objects of their hunger. With love denatured into revenge, they sting my arms. Swelling my shoulders into breasts, puncture sites oozing milky venom. They see their queen dislodge the center of a floating cemetery. Abandoning me to fly down and stand on the backs of corpses, they try to impregnate a dead queen. Efforts fruitless as they drown in copulation, swollen with love, death laps at the legs of the dock. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We had some fun themes tonight. I had a lot of fun. I do have one thing I am going to read for y'all before we wrap up here, and it's going to take me 1 sec because I put my notebook behind me like a smart person. Really? You're timing me now? You see this? Do you see the disrespect? No respect. This is called On Winning by Andy Fife. I did not write this one. When you're playing a game and your opponents cheat, you will probably lose the game if you play by the rules. You won't get bonus points for taking the high road, you'll just lose. You won't impress onlookers with your determination to lose according to the rules, you'll just lose. When you lose enough, your cheating opponents will change the rules in their favor. They will change the rules so you always lose. I realize this is a contradiction of many of our most cherished cultural myths, but it's stone cold reality. It's an easy cop-out to cocoon ourselves in self-righteous defeat, telling ourselves that if we just keep losing with our heads held high, that eventually it will become a win. It never does. When they go low, we stomp them into the fucking pavement and let them wail about our non-regulation boots. And with that, I would like to thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you to everybody watching at home. Thank you to Uma for hosting us. Thank you to Anne for helping us out with the camera. For Therese, who is out there doing reception so the rest of us can have fun in here. Thank you, of course, to our feature, Skoot Mosby. You can check him out online. Literally all the socials, Skoot Mosby. Please do check him out. He's fantastic. It's been wonderful having y'all here tonight. This has been the Contro-Verse. We do this every second and fourth Monday at 145 Pleasant Street in Malden until such a time as they kick us out of the building or we don't want to do it anymore. Have a great night, everybody.